Excellent.
Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit. Join me every week. Sip, sip, sip is my brother drinking coffee.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro Ross, Creative Tech here at Adafruit. Every week, we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring the electronics from Adafruit.
That's correct. This is a show we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is episode 460. It is November 6th, 2024. We're hanging out in the Adafruit Discord server. Say hello, drop a question, a GIF, a GIF, a meme, a meme. All that is good. We got a packed show for you folks today. We got a new project that's a bit of a sneak peek. It's in the review process. We're about to publish it. And we got 2 new prototype projects. We have a Timelapse Tuesday. We have Community Makes. A bit of shop talk, I think. New CAD parts. Always new CAD parts. 3D models for everybody. Yeah, we're doing it. Let's start off with Adafruit.com/free. Find out all the freebie deals that are going on. If you spend money with Adafruit, you'll get some free things. Starting off with orders of $99 or more, you get a free PCB coaster with a golden Adafruit logo. For orders that are $149 or more, you get the PCB coaster plus an Adafruit KB2040. If your order is $199 or more, you'll get all of that plus UPS ground shipping for free. And if you're top tier, $299 free shipping, KB2040, PCB coaster, and a Circuit Playground Express. For viewers watching, you can get a 10% off your total order using our coupon code MoviePie. That's right, MoviePie will get you 10% off your order. Works on just about anything, including Raspberry Pi things, which is going to be, it's going to be something maybe about this project this week. Give us some shout outs to folks that are joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today. We got Duester, Vince, Squid Dutch JPEG. Hello, thank you for joining us. We hope y'all are doing good this morning. All right. Pedro, you there?
Just sipping coffee.
He's just sipping the coffee.
Also hanging out in all of the other chats. They should be streaming in. I can see one coming in from YouTube. Good morning, FNAF Animatronic.
Cool, FNAF. All right. Okay, so this project is an interesting one this week. Bear with us as we get the Learn Guide out. But this week, Raspberry Pi project. This is the project in the background here. It is a little 3D printed case for our Raspberry Pi 5. Can't really bring it closer because it's plugged into the wall. But Raspberry Pi 5 with an NFC Breakout board. And what you do is you can use your NFC cards and you can write stuff onto them to do some magical things. Like right now, you can see this is a little VHS tape, a themed enclosure. It's got the NFC card. Let's go ahead and put it on the reader. On the display, you can see we got Blinka bouncing around like a DVD thing. It had a little time thing there. And now it's launching VLC player. And it is playing the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox. So this was inspired by a user on Simply Explained who created a similar thing, but using streaming networks. So we thought it'd be cool to use the Raspberry Pi 5 with the M.2 hat and the SSD storage. So you got really quick, speedy performance. And you can play different movies.
Wow.
And you can write different things to these cards. Liz put together the code in CircuitPython for the Raspberry Pi. So this is the Hackers movie. Let me Control Q this. Control Q. When you Control Q, it goes back to like the main splash page. This is the script. I think it was done using Pi Game or maybe Display.io. We'll take a look at the guide. But Blink is bouncing around. You got the time here, so it's kind of like a DVD player. We got Hackers here, which is a big favorite of PT and Lamar. I put it on there, and it loads the Hackers movie.
So cool.
So you get a Python script that allows you to add your own movies, and you can manually add them if you want, but our Python script will kind of make it easy for you. It uses a CSV file that's just a nice long list of all the movies, and they're associated to the individual tags. So there's hackers playing in the background. I won't play the whole movie because you don't want to get striked by YouTube. You can quit, and then I have one more card here. It's a blank one, so you can just use any blank card. But I thought it'd be cool to 3D print a little VHS, little insert thing. So this one is unnamed. I wonder what movie it is. Let's try it out. Put it on the card reader, and let's see what it is. It's Troop Beverly Hills, Disney classic. So that's playing in the background there. So if you got a nice collection of movies, you can play any movies. You can download YouTube movies. You could make this, all the circuit playground things for children. If you want to teach them A through Z, you can style this out to be like letter A, and it would play A. A is for amperes. You can do so many cool things with it. It's super like modular. The case, I got a nice little tripod screw in there too. You got a nice little engraving of where you put the card. It's easy to put together. No support material. Pi 5, right? You have access to the SD card. You got a nice grill here for the for ventilation. Yeah, it's just an HDMI display. It's plugged into the wall. Yeah, let me Control Q that. And yeah, it's a kind of a first project using the Raspberry Pi 5, so it's pretty cool. We'll walk through the Learn Guide, and again, it's in the moderation, so it's just waiting on folks to review it. Our internal folks review it, make sure everything is nice and makes sense, and yeah. So let's jump into the Learn Guide. Again, this will be published later today, hopefully, or tomorrow. Big shout out to Liz Clark for putting together and going on all the different forums to figure out how to get this M.2 hat working, because it can be a little, it's relatively new to the Raspberry Pi 5, and getting the SSD to mount and stay mounted seems to be a little bit of a problem. Hopefully it'll get more native support in the future, but the Learn Guide will walk you through all the things that you need to do for it. So we got some nice photos here of it. Of course, you can make this on a big TV or a small TV, however you want to do it. And you can get really good speeds out of these SSDs using the M.2 hat. So we got some prerequisites. You want to learn about installing CircuitPython libraries on the Raspberry Pi. Using Python scripts in the new Raspberry Pi 5 comes with its challenges. You have to set up a virtual environment, but we got a Learn Guide by Carter Nielsen who walks you through all that stuff. As far as the parts, the Raspberry Pi 5, preferably the 8 GB RAM. That's the top of the line Pi, super speedy. And then we have the official Raspberry Pi M.2 hat. This allows you to use M.2 solid state drives, the NVMe drives for extra storage. You got the power supply. You definitely need the bulky power supply because the Pi needs like 5.1 volts and 5 amps because it's very power hungry. We got the NFC Breakout. This is a nice classic Adafruit Breakout board. We have two different versions of it, but this is the kind of Breakout version. Cards, you can get these wherever. Again, I was showing you you can use you can repurpose cards if you have them, but we sell them as well. Screen if you need a screen, cables, stacking headers, socket headers, right angle headers, wires. It's not really a beginner-friendly project. You want to know a little bit. You want to have a little bit of Linux and Raspberry Pi under your belt, and a little bit of soldering experience is required. And then an M.2 drive. I think last week Raspberry Pi announced that they're going to be making their own drives, but this is one that we use. It's from Western Digital. It works. Some of them might not work, but we know this one works, so that's why we have it linked there. So that's all the parts. Circuit diagram just shows you how to wire it up to the Raspberry Pi. In the actual build, we're using this socket header so that you can actually just plug it into the headers. You don't have to solder directly to the GPIO pins. But yeah, that's all there for you. the next page, really setting up the Raspberry Pi. You want to, burn your your SD card using the Raspberry Pi software that they offer now. And we just document setting up your Pi. So dialing the latest Pi OS, burning the image, song and dance. Remember the song and dance? Doing a Raspberry Pi, you got to do all the stuff. Well, it's all here. You got to activate SSH. You got to get on your Wi-Fi. You got to do a bunch of stuff because it's a Raspberry Pi, and we love doing stuff.
If you're bored or need some,
the first thing you do with your Raspberry Pi, you do apt-get update, you do apt-get upgrade, you do install Python 3, you do all the stuff. Then you got to set up your environment. You got to automate the install. All of this painstakingly, step by step, it's all there for you. So you can definitely get this going. You just got to follow through the steps. Block out a couple days to do this. I'm really bringing it home. It's like this looks like it's easy. We made it easy for you. We did all the weeks worth of documenting it. But yeah, it's all going. You get your Blinka test, and you're running Blinka Circuit Python on your Raspberry Pi. Woo!
Snakes in a pie.
Snakes in a pie. All right, next up, we're going to set up the Python virtual environment prep. So again, we kind of...
I don't think I've ever done this.
Yeah, me neither. But this was Liz's first time too. Basically, it's saying you can't do sudo pip anymore. Things will break, and it will require learning new things.
Oh,
yeah. Period. So, yeah, I'm joking here, but it's good to learn all this stuff because this is the future. It's just more stuff you got to do.
I'm sure AI can do this.
Yeah. So basically, set that up. Yep. All right, once your Python virtual environment is set up, let's set up our M.2 hat plus. Things are subject to change. Maybe they'll have more native support, but this is what we have to do right now. There's some documentation from the Raspberry Pi, and well, you got to format the M.2 drive using a regular computer. How do you do that? Well, you got to use a USB cable. You get the adapter cable to actually mount it, and you got to format it. Use your favorite formatting software. I like to use Disk Utility because I'm on a Mac, but I think PC and Linux have their own thing. Yeah, we have the documented here. Funny that you can't format the drive
Not yet.
A Pi. You just can't do that. You need a real computer. And hopefully. I said real computer in the best sense of real computer. The Pi is a real computer, but you can't format that drive. Anyway, to get automatic mounting, you got to do a couple steps. We have that documented. You do some sudo commands. You find the UUID for your... Yeah, you got to do some things. You got to do some commands. You got to edit the FS tab. You keep going. We got to edit the config.txt. Again, hopefully, Raspberry Pi will make this better. But right now, you got to do this stuff. Yeah, so this walks you through all of it, step by step. Next up, let's set up the NFC media player software. You're going to install the Adafruit CircuitPython library for the NFC reader. This is using the PN532 chipset, so we have a specific library for getting that going. Here's the project bundle. Shout out to Liz for putting this together. You just download the project bundle, and it'll have all the things, mainly the PNG for doing the little Blinka thing, but you could change that easily. There's a lot of comments in the code that you can update if you want to, I don't know, change the clock or the font or any of that stuff, the background color. You can do all that stuff here, so that's really nice. And you'll get an add movie Python script for adding a movie. Of course, the NFC movie player script for launching the player. By the way, it's using the BLC player because we really like it. It's really robust. It plays all the formats, MP4s, MOVs, all those things. And then, of course, the CSV file. That's basically like this list of all the movies and their associated NFC tags. So this walks you through all that, all the things you need to do. Yeah. Next up, adding movies. So this Python script will add the movie. You basically run this script, and it'll prompt you, hey, put the card in, and it'll say, okay, here's the ID of the card. Now, what do you want the movie to be titled? And then you can title the movie and just make sure it matches the name of your video file that you want to associate it to. And this just walks you through it. Lovely GIFs and all that. Yep. To get it to run on boot, because when we power the Pi, we don't want to have to keep typing commands. You can do all that automatically with doing a special bash script. So this will walk you through doing that script for running it on boot. So this is all working. Here's a nice GIF of Blinka bouncing around like a classic DVD player back in the old times when you had physical media. But that's the software portion. Everything's painstakingly documented for everybody to recreate this project. CAD files. We got a couple of parts here for the Raspberry Pi case. You can use your own case if you like, but ours just makes it so that it has the Pi and the NFC breakout board together with enough space in between them, for the fan and ventilation. And then we have a cute little case for these standard cards. I talked about it. I thought it was cool to make these into like these VHS kind of things. It even has a little special backing there. It's a snap fit dealie. You have these reliefs here on the side of the case so that you can pop the card in and out without having to break it. So there you can see that's the Charlie card. This is the card for getting on the subway. You can repurpose them, which is nice. And then you can use some labels and stuff for it. But yeah, they're NFC cards. They're free. They're nice to use. And then you have these two pieces. And then there's a little bit of thickness to the case. If you wanted to write something and have like a whole library of them, that'd be kind of fun and cool. Yeah, so that's the NFC card enclosure. And then, of course, if you want to create your own kind of custom design, we have 3D models of the NFC Breakout. You can find a model of the Raspberry Pi on other sites like GrabCAD. That's where I found mine. Or you can download the source file as a step file if you want to use SolidWorks or Onshape or something else. Or Blender is a great one too. That'll have the Raspberry Pi in there, NFC Breakout. Trying to remember what else. I think that's it. All the 3D components in there. Yeah, and then the case can be changed up if you want to do a different case. On to the wiring, we document solder, making it easy to plug and play the NFC breakout board into the GPIO header pins of the Pi. We're using this 2x5 socket header, different colored wires. You just want to solder these, and we have a nice breakdown of the colors and where they go. And then in order to use the NFC breakout, you can use it with I2C, but we prefer to use the SPI protocol. So you have these like little right angle jumpers or right angle header pins, and then a jumper that comes with it. And we prefer to solder on the back of the PCB because we want it to be nice and flush on our 3D printed part. So we got to do a little bit differently. So this is how we set it up. And then just plug it into your Raspberry Pi after the header is installed. We're using extra tall stacking headers that allows you to kind of allows you to connect it to the GPIO, and then the hat on top of that. And on top of that, you can have the header pin. So all that is nicely sandwiched together. Onto the assembly. You want to start off with attaching the breakout to the breakout cover, the NFC cover here with these screws. They're just M3 screws. You want to plug that. You want to orient that in the right way. And then we'll start with stacking the headers. And then you can mount the Pi to the frame using M25 screws and hex nuts. You want to do this. It's just easier to do it bit by bit. So you definitely want to follow this assembly. Then you can install the M2 hat. The M2 hat is this little ribbon cable that connects to the PCIe port. So you just plug that in, and then you can fit the M.2 hat onto the extra tall headers and just pop that through. And then you'll just have enough headers pins to plug in the socket header, and just reference the the circuit diagram. I like to just count the number of pins. You'd be like, if you're doing from the top, you go like, okay, there's 9 down, and then just plug it in that way. Yeah, and then from there, you're going to slide the NFC cover into the frame. There's like a little bit of a railing that you slide it into. And then these just snap fit here. The top and the bottom covers just orient the the cutouts with the ports on the Raspberry Pi, and then you just snap fit, and then you can install the SD card. And that's it. Then you can start firing it up, plug it into the proper power supply, and then start making some movies, some NFC card movies. And that's the Learn Guide. Everything painstakingly documented. I think it's a lot of fun. If you like physical media and you want to go back to those days, you can do it. Yeah.
So I think the biggest use case for this is going to be for museums, theme parks, and I don't know.
That's a good thing. Yeah. Educational settings. So if you have like a fun daycare or something with young ones, you want them to pick their movie out and then put it on the reader. That could be fun. You could build it into like a much bigger display, like integrate the screen. This is just like a, an entry level point, a starting point for folks that want to make this into a bigger project. But yeah. Yep. You can have it launch games. You can have it launch Minecraft. You can have these, work with Minecraft blocks. We have a guide on doing that. It's good to kind of think about the creatively, like what you can do with it. So we think it's a good starting point for folks to get creative with their Raspberry Pis.
All right,
but there you go. Hopefully we'll get this guide reviewed and then published within the week. I'm working on a video too that just kind of demos, some of the fun things.
Use cases setup.
Yeah, use cases and setup. And the hardware. I think we timed it pretty good with the new M.2 hat SSD drives that the Raspberry Pi announced.
A little too early.
Maybe a little too early, yeah. But maybe by the time,
be ready to go.
Yeah, maybe by the time they're in stock and we get them in stock, they'll have better software like core support so that you can plug it in and it stays mounted and that sort of thing. That'd be nice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice if you could buy the SSD and it's like ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you have to do all this scripting just to make it so that it mounts. Because we ran into so many edge cases where we would set it all up, we turn off the Pi, and then we turn it on, and then where's the thing? And then we search on forums, and there's like a dozen forum posts saying like, "Hey, my SSD drive isn't showing up. What's going on?" And it's just, it's very bare bones. But that's this week's project. A cool collab. Lamar thought it was a good idea, so she kind of said, "Hey, do it." And
super useful.
Yeah, cool. Let's see if anyone has any. Yeah, got to be this guy to do the M2 hat right now. Absolutely, that is who you need to be, Hacker Man.
Right. I mean, it gives you a nice little insight in terms of setting up the SSD drive of what actually goes on when you do like scripts that make it easier for you. This is what it's doing in the background, and if you're into that type of stuff, it definitely gears you up for that.
Yep.
I'm just thinking again, museums, theme parks, or you're doing interactivity. I don't know, like the bands or something specifically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can do bands. You can do. We have all sorts of NFC card. You don't have to just use the card. We have little, and you can embed them into other objects.
Little rings.
Yeah, there's little stickers. There's rings. There's so much stuff. You can find them in the garbage, apparently, like the Charlie card. NFCs everywhere. Buttons, little sewable buttons.
You got Two Western in the chat wondering if a Pico, maybe doing this with a Pico with a VGA out or HDMI display. Maybe just tips or info text type things to
smaller things. Yeah,
interactive.
It's a cool idea, right? Yeah. The reason why we use the Raspberry Pi 5 is because we want to do full graphic acceleration. You can really play whatever movie. Storage isn't an issue because you got a nice big bulky hard drive on there.
Exactly.
We have audio and all that stuff. Can't quite do audio out of the thing, so we really wanted to do just movies, like big movies. Yeah. And then we didn't really document like where do you get your movies, because that can be a little gray area. Is it illegal to rip DVDs these days? I don't know.
I think it's
But we
okay.
did.
As long as you, as long as you own them or whatever.
Yeah, we owned all the movies. Like we bought Hackers just to get it on here, and Hackers was like $5 at the $5 bin. Yeah.
Oh, we stocked it too.
We did stock it. We don't stock it anymore, but we did, and we missed out. But anyway, remember Handbrake?
Oh yeah,
We actually used Handbrake to rip the DVD.
Funny.
And then like I have an iMac M1. And it's like, oh, I can't rip DVD. There's no DVD. Like I can't. Where did you insert the DVD? There's so we needed a nice old computer that has a drive to even play the DVD.
Yeah. I have to always transfer Handbrake off of an old computer anytime we get a new computer.
And I think VLC now allows you to burn, but it does like a logging capture style where it's logging it as it's playing the movie.
Oh wow!
So that's even more nostalgia there. Like, remember when we had mini DV and we had to log and capture? Yeah. So the nostalgia factor is high on this one. Yeah. Yeah. I don't actually have any drives that I can put a DVD into anymore. That's right. That's why
one.
We have one, right? One PC with a DVD drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the old iMacs, I think, like the slot load drive one, so it's scary to even put a DVD in there.
Right.
Like, oh no, there's the mechanism.
Oh, the slot load drives. Oh. But again, you could do YouTube movies. You can download YouTube videos, rather. Yeah. Yep. Cool. If you want to pick up the Raspberry Pi, you can get 10% off with our coupon code. See if they're in stock, huh? Raspberry Pi.
I think like the 4
they're
gig
in stock.
one. Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're in stock. All the things. Case, the Pi, the 8 gigabyte version, the 4 gigabyte version. Again, we use the top of the line one here, the 8 gigabyte version, just because we didn't want any slowness when launching VLC and playing back, 4K video. I think they're 4K. I'm not sure, actually. But anyway, we got all the stuff. Check it out. Oh, Pyramoni did one too, I guess.
Oh,
this is their version of the SSD. The I have a hard time saying this.
NVMe.
Yeah. I don't know what it stands for. I should probably look that up.
I might say
yeah, high-speed storage for Raspberry Pi 5. But yeah, the Raspberry Pi made their own. There it is. Yeah, I actually didn't find a 3D model of it. I couldn't really do one, so I did like a kind of a fake one. Yeah. But yeah, connects over the PCIe. The little ribbon.
Right, cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Super cool.
Yeah, so check it out. Get your Pi stuff. Make this your first Pi 5 project. Yeah, the Pi 5 has been out a year or two.
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
We had the stock shortage or the part shortage for this, so it was a little difficult to get all the required parts, and I'm sure it was difficult for them on manufacturing and all that.
Sure. Yep. All right. That's this week's project.
Through the questions here, I think we got them all that are relevant. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this week's What Are We Prototyping?
You want to go first?
Yeah. Oh, yep. I already pushed the button. So we saw that little tiny Pi. What do they call it? Not tiny Pi. Tiny Pod project?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you got it loaded here. Yeah, this is like a cool idea, but we watched a video and we quickly found out that it's not really that great.
I know,
it's more of a case for an Apple Watch. So
yeah, it was like
I got myself a new watch, and I now have an extra watch. That's like, what can I do with it? Well, you can turn it into like a little iPod device with our Anno scroll wheel and a Feather ESP32 S3. You can use CircuitPython to pair with an Apple Watch, and then you can do kind of like a iPod kind of style project. Yeah.
So it's basically turning this into a BLE mouse, so you'll be able to control the through the assistive, what's it called? The disability assist.
Yeah.
Capabilities.
You can pair Bluetooth devices to the Apple Watch, keyboard, BLE mice. So we're using CircuitPython HID library to emulate a USB scroll wheel so that we can control it. And we don't have the code yet; it's in development, but you'll be able to use this really cool, classic kind of scroll wheel with the up, down, left, right, and then a select button, and all that will work with it. So you can turn an old Apple Watch or a new Apple Watch into a kind of a much more ergonomic, useful device instead of just sitting in the drawer like I have mine right now. Yeah, it's like every 5 years I get a new Apple Watch because it's been out for a while now. So I think it'd be a really cool project.
Yeah, I like it. How it allows you to continue to use projects instead of having them in the drawer.
Yeah.
For Gavin, he's 11 years old. I will not get him a phone, so he's just gonna use this as his phone. He has one of the cellular based Apple Watch.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Use this as a cell phone.
That's funny. Yeah, can't be scrolling on TikTok on that.
No.
That's funny. Yeah.
But we need to get a hold of him, or we need to locate him.
Yeah, you can still call him. Yeah. A lot of tech in the Apple Watch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So definitely be using this beyond the project. I'll just give it to the kid, let him pretend that he has a little phone.
Yeah.
So we were watching the little YouTube review video that you sent me, and I was expecting to go into the settings and set up the settings for how to turn on the BLE. But it turns out this is just mechanical, so there's no software going on in this.
Yeah, it's just a case.
It's just a case, so
no electronics.
No electronics at all. I think.
I was really curious. How do they get the scroll wheel to work? It's just a rubber band. It's a rubber band that ties into the crown. And it didn't even fit. The reviewer put a piece of paper to shim it in there, so it's not even correctly toleranced. Right. So a bit of a shame. I mean, it's $80 device. It's
it is.
Case. Yeah, it's $80.
You can see here.
You can see it's just a rubber band.
So it's just
clever, but not good.
Yeah. No, again, I thought this was actual software, and you're gonna send me a video on how to set all that up. It's just mechanical. So definitely a letdown in terms of what the video is saying. That is that it's not smooth. It's not like what you would feel an iPod would be like. So it's definitely a letdown on that.
And the click wheel is fake. It's not a real click. It's not a real click.
So we're gonna have a real click wheel, actual software, actual BLE. So with that, I am gonna need a battery. So
yep, we're gonna
prototyping that. So it's gonna go mounted on the bottom for that. So you have access to recharge it, your USB-C. You'll have a Feather S3 to do the BLE for that. And then the NO has a stemma connection. So we'll just hook that up through the port that's already on there. Let's see what else. For the case, it's just a simple case that mounts all of the components in there. You even have a little cutout for the, the whatever monitor. So you can still use it to, gauge depth and whatever your blood pressure is and things like that. So you can still use that portion of the watch for that.
Yep.
And that just mounts in there like that. Have a little space for the stemma cable to not get bent up. And the case just press fits for the watch, so that can easily pop in and out like that.
Nice.
Back in, and then if you still want to use the crown, you'll still be able to do that. Or the I forgot what this does, the power button. And what else?
We want to add a slide switch for turning the feather on and off.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think we got everything covered. You got a battery. You have built-in battery charging with a feather.
Yep, I'll probably use the 500 just to keep the size of the case down. So I have another portion of that, the little lid that screws onto the back of that.
We might be able to use the low power stuff in CircuitPython so that it does a deep sleep when it's not in action. So maybe we can get good battery life out of it. We'll see. But I think for proof of concept, we'll be able to get this going pretty quickly. Yeah.
And that's what we have for prototyping. That's a way to continue to use any of your outdated watches. Nice continued life. This is so far for the 42 millimeter sized watches. I'll have to make a 38 millimeter one, or just get the kid let's get a 42 inch. I don't have to redo that.
I think I have a Series 4 watch. Do you know what? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I think they all have the same size.
Yeah, we usually get the 42.
Yeah.
I think I got Gavin the 38. You know, he's a kid, so smaller wrist and all that.
Right. Yep. Okay.
But I will see. Definitely easier, or as easy to update the sketches that house this. So it'll just have maybe it could just be like an additional not clip, but something that gets added in to add some padding. We shall see.
Yeah. Good question from Squid.jpg. Why are we going with the Feather ESP32S3 for BLE instead of the NRF 52840?
You told me, I forgot what the reasoning was.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the reasoning too. I'm guessing because it's just there's a stemma port and it's easy to plug it in. There's no stemma port on the NRF 52840. And I guess the ESP32S3s are probably more affordable, more reliable. They're new.
Yeah,
the stemma port, I guess, is the reason, really. But yeah, we recently got a BLE support. Like, shout out to Scott and Dan for getting it working on the ESP32S3. Yeah. Yep. Me too.
Yeah, $80 for just a case. I think this would be like.
I think it has more RAM as well. The ESP32S3 has like 8 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, so it's just better. You know, you get Wi-Fi too, right? For this almost same price, if not cheaper. Yeah. So that's kind of why. Yeah, good question. Cool. Yeah. Now I have one prototype. Last week I talked about this idea I had for doing a point persistence of vision project, and I've been iterating on it. It's basically in prototype mode. I have a little DC gear motor here, and I have these 3D printed meshing gears. I have these DotStar LED strips. So 32 LEDs here, 32 LEDs here. I added 2 of them now. I'm using a split ring so that I can freely rotate this. So that's what the split ring does, is it gives you the ability to have wired connections that can freely rotate. To drive the motor, I've got a Feather RP2040 and then the motor FeatherWing on a doubler here. This is my little prototype setup here. I ended up creating my own bearing using steel balls and just kind of bolting them together, and it seems to work pretty well. So to power it, I've got this little DC jack, a 12 volts, 5 amp power supply, and I will demo it because I was able to get some footage of it. So let's demo it now. Here it is on my table last night at about 5:40. Let me play it again. So I was able to drop the shutter speed, and you can just about make out the neon cat. So this is just the same CircuitPython painter code with a motor running, and we want to add a couple of things. We want to add. We want to make it so that the image delay is adjustable, maybe with some potentiometers, so that we can get it like a steady, image without the blinking. Because right now we're just kind of futzing around with the delay. Hi, kitty cat. Let me make some room for you. And then also we want to make it so that maybe we'll see if we can do this. If we can get animated GIFs or animated bitmap sprites, so we can get animations on it, that could be pretty cool. Yeah, so that's what we want to kind of do. You'll be able to put your own image maybe a Christmas tree, a menorah, a ball drop, all sorts of. My cats are crying. I'm not sure why. Are they in danger? I don't know. So that's it running there. I think it's a kind of a cool idea. Been really in the mood of making things spin with our pumpkin and the bat. Now we want to spin some LEDs, and we can do that with a split ring and the Adafruit motor FeatherWing. Yeah, one more time. You can kind of hear it there too. I thought it was cool to 3D print the ball bearing with, and then add steel balls to make it, because like the bigger, pre-made ball bearings can get kind of expensive, like $20 for like one that's like this big. And I couldn't quite use like the skate bearing because the center diameter was just too small. So I was like, let me just try to make my own. And it seems to work pretty well. Yeah. So that's a kind of neat thing. I haven't really made my own ball bearing yet. And you can do it. You can use steel bars, and reduces the friction, and it's pretty cool. Right, Kitty? That's a good kitty. So yeah, we'll keep working on that. That would be a nice kind of end of the year holiday project. A motorized POV LED display with CircuitPython. If you want to pick up some DotStar LEDs, a feather, a motor, you can use our coupon code MoviePie and get 10% off your order. Thank you for those links, Pedro. Good for the next 24 hours, this coupon code is. Cat. All right, let's check in on why two hands at 180. Is that for stability? Pretty much, yeah.
If you added two more,
I guess it could. I think I have enough wires, because you're limited to how many wires you have. So, for example, I think I have.
I think you said you had the 10 one?
Ring. I think I have the 12 one. Yeah.
Or
you can just share the data line. I guess
yeah.
And then create your own Y cable at the end of it. But yeah, this is what I'm using. And then I'm using Pico blade connectors, so I can easily disconnect the LED strips. Yeah. Lamar's been kind of busy, so he hasn't had a chance to kind of recommend what would be a good route to go with this one. But I think just having those two LED strips balanced it and just allowed you to see the image more, because you're rotating. And then the diameter of the arms, like the length of the arms, matter too. Like if you make it too small, then your image looks a little bit squished. But you can change that with the image delay too. So that's kind of why I wanted to have a potentiometer to control the image delay. Yeah.
Yes, this is exactly what you're going to do.
Yep.
Question, David.
Yeah, we want to synchronize it too for the image display. Yep. We were thinking maybe an IR or some sort of encoder on the motor, so that we know where the encoder is and where the view angle is. Yeah, lots of fun stuff with the POV stuff. But just to get the thing going, I wanted to, sort out the gears and sort out the mechanism, which seemed to be working pretty good. Yeah. Cool. All right, and that is our prototype segment. I've got a couple new CAD files. If folks are interested, go to github.com, search for the Adafruit CAD parts. We got some new ones this week. Check it out. Added the NFC Breakout, and still got some other some part requests to go through later in the week. So I'll get through those. But yeah, new parts. Next up, we're going to move on to Timelapse Tuesday. Sorry, I was getting the thing ready. I don't have the video loaded, so.
Oops, I forgot to load that.
Yep. It is, while you do that, it's a free 3D print from Tomo Designs. We featured their designs before. Always fun things. This is a multi-part, multicolor print of a little gift that has these like spring-loaded feet. So when you press it down, it pops up. Kind of a fun little thing for the kids. You print it in separate parts. The legs, the gift box, and then I think the bow. So it's all separate parts. It's free designs on Thingiverse, again from Tomo Designs. They also have a tree version of a little pine tree. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think we showed the tree off last year, actually.
Oh, really? Well,
I believe so.
We've shown their stuff before. They got a bunch of fun designs. Yeah, not quite a print in place, but a nice kind of springy mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got it there.
Yep, here it is.
You want to make it jump?
Make it bigger. There it is. Yeah, like you were saying, super simple print in place. I'm using the dual color version here. I was not able to get the parts to fit otherwise, so you are going to have to scale up, I think, the bow part if you are doing the separate printed version. So just look at or be aware of that. But yeah, it's a nice little springy mechanism that snaps into the bottom there. You can see here it's just having the legs go in and applying that spring little feature there. So a little bit difficult to get this to spring up, but more of a fidget for the kids. Mm. But yeah, nice little way to have a little decorations since we are now in Christmas mode. Figured we'd have some nice little fidgets for that. There we go.
Yeah, Christmas, gifts, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the gift-giving holidays. Yep. All right, cool. Here's the time lapse.
It is hollow, so you do save on printing materials for that. What's going to say about it? Did require supports for the bow part, but then again, you have to scale this up, so keep that in mind. I think you can scale it up by whatever 0.4, and that should hopefully fit. I did have to go ahead and cheat and use the Ultimaker to have it print in dual color, and that works out pretty good.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, folks got the multi-material MMUs for Prusa or Bamboo Labs. I'm seeing a lot of folks with these multi-material printers these days.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's a new version of the Bamboo coming out since they're all on sale now. Get a nice
speculation. We don't know for sure.
I mean, why else would they all be on sale?
Because there's a sale.
Rid of inventory. We should have one by next year, one of the Bamboo. So we'll do a lot more multicolor.
Yeah, I want to get one.
Yeah, I think the cheapest one is what, like $300 or something.
Yeah,
so definitely a good investment for this.
Cool.
Right, like how it's the direct drive too. So none of that Bowden stuff.
Yeah, no more bed moving back and forth.
Oh yeah, that too.
Super fast. I just want faster printing.
That's yeah, the really speed. Yeah,
and spaghetti detection.
Yes, especially for like the prototyping stuff. You know, takes like 2 or 3 hours sometimes just to figure out that your mounting holes are in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Cool.
So yep, that's this week's community make. Nice little for the holidays.
Yep. Let's move on to makes that were sent to us. Starting off with a fun all around year planter. This was posted up by La Palma 3D. They posted up their make of the little Mario Boo inspired planter. So you can print this out in one part and then paint it for the little details like the tongue and the eyes. And yeah, looks cute.
Declan keeps telling me to print another one because we don't know what happened to the one we made.
Oh, really? He says, perfecta. Me ha encantado. They really enjoy it. Cool. After that, we have a dodecahedron, which is just a fun 3D print. Posted it by Alec. Posted it on Printables. It looks cool. It's got like kind of I don't know if that's the lighting or the filament has like these different colors that kind of make it look multicolored. Looks pretty cool. You can print this with no support material. It's very nice. After that, we have Blast from the Past. This was posted by Damon on Thingiverse. They made the stool design that Pedro designed a while back. We had LEDs in it, but they needed a stool, and they printed out Pedro's stool. It's got like this Verneuil cutout pattern. That's pretty neat, and it's got like the little what do you call it? The little holders for the pegs or dowels, maybe. Needed a stool for my print bench. Printed a stool for my print bench.
There's a little channel in there too for the NeoPixel rings, so you can have that be.
Yeah, that's what it was. NeoPixel rings.
Little, feather mount on the bottom there too.
Yeah, I had like built-in standoffs and stuff. I actually used it on Halloween so that you can see because I put the candy bowl on it. Yes, Winnie, you're a pretty kitty.
I think she's hungry.
Yeah, don't tell her that.
She hasn't eaten in 2 minutes. So.
She hasn't eaten in 2 minutes. Yep, you're right. 2 hours, actually. All right, and then the last community make project. This is cool. This is from Fenback. They said, I had to modify several of the parts to work with some of the hardware. Was either discontinued, out of stock, or on back order. Overall, this is a really cool design for time lapses. I wanted to modify the design for normal shooting. Yeah, this is a really cool project where we'd like to redo this with 2 axes one day. So yeah, looks really cool. It's all CircuitPython code. Uses a motor FeatherWing, a stepper motor FeatherWing, and I think a Feather M4, and some linear rails to create a nice time lapse rig to do cool panning time lapses. Yeah, and that is all the community makes. Thank you everybody for posting up your makes. Really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you want to pick up any parts today, you can use your coupon code MoviePie. It's good for the next 24 hours. And later tonight, we have more coupon codes, back-to-back shows, starting off with Show and Tell this week, hosted by Mr. and Mrs. Lady Ada. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to join the Show and Tell, you can hang out in the Adafruit Discord server, and we'll drop in a link, a StreamYard link, so you can join. And then Ask an Engineer was canceled yesterday, last week. This week, I think they're back. Starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hang out with all the folks tuning in live. Tomorrow is JP's workshop. You tune in on every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Tim has taken over to the deep dives. So Tim, Foamy Guy, will be on this week's deep dive, 5 p.m. Eastern or 2 p.m. Pacific. From the desk of Lady Ada. Happens on Sundays. Earlier and earlier on Sundays. And then CircuitPython Weeklies on Monday. And then JP's product picks of the week on Tuesday. Cool. And then we're back to our show on Wednesday, 11 a.m. every Wednesday. Cool.
I'm going to update that thumbnail, that Taz bot.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like it's kind of funny just to have it there. Yeah. Yep. I think it's fun. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to do it for us. We got some guides to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, next week will be a nice little overview of the Maker Faire that is going on in Orlando. So I'm going to go print out some little makey 3D prints to put in their claw machine for the kids.
Nice.
Of those. I think I got to bring that little face tracking robot just so I can fit into the
there you go. Yeah. That's very cool.
There, doing just a little overview, looking at the file size of how big the videos are going to be. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do interviews.
No, just do like cool projects that you see.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do like a little collage of just fun things that you see. Yeah. You're mainly there for the kids. It's just fun. Get them inspired to make some cool stuff and see some cool stuff. Meet some cool makers maybe.
Yeah, I think they're excited for the Robo Puppy.
Yeah. I always love seeing R2D2, just any robot roaming around. Always cool cosplay. A lot of cool cosplay folks
Mhm.
go as well. Yeah, looks really cool. Kind of feeling the FOMO. Wish I was gone. Yep. Cool. All right. That's this Saturday, November 9th from whatever time. I think in the morning till the afternoon or something. Cool. All right, folks. We hope to see you on Show and Tell. I'm going to sit this one out. No Show and Tell for me, but we'll be here next week. And until then, remember to make
a great
day.
day.
Bye, folks.
See you next week.